Max, 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 super Max, Max, super Max, Max, Max.
Hello. Yeah, that's my name. Yeah, I made a request for 4 vacation weeks about 1 week ago. It was approved. Okay, I mean, that's fantastic. Thanks a lot. Yeah, you too. Bye. We are going on a trip, on a long trip. On our long trip, we are going to travel exactly to 3 different countries: Spain, Portugal, and France. We were able to get 4 weeks of vacation at work to make a trip, and now that it got a bit easier to travel and we haven't visited my relatives for a while, we decided we would go to Spain. But it didn't end there. We always wanted to visit Portugal and maybe in the future move there. However, we have never visited the country, so we thought we would combine it all in a trip. We have planned to spend the 4 weeks as following: 11 nights in Spain, in different regions, 11 nights in France, in different regions, and 8 nights in Portugal. We will be visiting the north, south, and middle of France, the north of Spain, Asturias to be precise, and some interesting cities in the middle-ish of Spain. And not to forget, we are also visiting central Portugal. Now, on to the details. This, of course, is not exclusively a leisure trip. We have visited the grandparents in Spain for 3.5 years, and my aunt and her family in 8.5 years. In fact, they have never met my partner in person. On top of that, we wanted to acquire a property in Portugal someday in the near future, so visiting our possible future country of residency is not such a bad idea to check out how life is there firsthand. Obviously, with such a trip, it's important to have some things prepared before departing. Number 0. The driver's license. Since it's supposed to be a road trip, I need to have a driver's license if I don't want to end up arrested. I didn't have one, so I had to go through the process of learning how to drive in Germany. You see, here it's not as easy and cheap as doing some theory lessons and driving around a bit. Some driving schools here do have a fast track where you can take vacation for 2 weeks and do it in that period of time. But due to the virus, no one was offering it, so I had to do the normal track, or even the slow track, since I was working full-time while doing the license. And I'm not joking, it took 9 months since I registered until I had the license in my hands. It could have taken even longer if I had failed the theory or the practice exam. And what's problematic, if a year has passed since you did the theory, then you need to start over. So it's pretty normal I had my fears I wouldn't make it. A busy month at work, falling ill, or flying somewhere on holidays could have messed up the entire progress. But thank God, I could get my license about 1 month before the planned date of the trip. Number 1. Car. I mean, it's obvious, you cannot drive without a vehicle, right? And we actually had one, a Renault Twingo from 2010. We could have just driven off with it, but it had several issues, felt unstable, and was all in all a bit unsafe to drive. We didn't think it was reasonable to drive a trip of 6,000 kilometers with it, so we needed a new car. The new car shouldn't be expensive, should be quite new, and preferably have an automatic transmission. It's quite nice for stop-and-go traffic in cities. We could find one relatively fast. One day after I got my license, I called to make an appointment, and the next day we were doing the test drive. 1 week later, it was ours. Number 2. The pandemic. One, let's say, condition for the trip was that the pandemic-bound restrictions had to ease a bit, at least in some of the countries we are visiting. When we planned the trip, this was not obvious. Spain was requiring masks both outside and inside, and Portugal asked for a test plus the vaccine passport every time you want to enter a restaurant. Now, thankfully, it is way less restricted. And number 3, accommodation. Sleeping in the car is maybe okay if it's only for one night, 2 even if it's more spacious, but for 4 weeks it can make you exhausted. We needed accommodation for all the different places that we are visiting on our trip. We initially booked all of the accommodations through Airbnb, not only because it's usually cheaper than a hotel room, but also because of the social interaction with hosts, which so far has been very positive, and sometimes we even get local tips from them. And of course, because we want to cook ourselves, and we don't want to cook with a gas camping kitchen inside a hotel room. No, don't try it, please. So we booked through Airbnb, but we noticed that the total price of all accommodations exceeded our monthly salary slightly, and we still have to pay for food, gasoline, museums, bribes, etc. Fortunately, some family members offered to host us, so we could reduce the bill a little. The itinerary. Our first stop will be Triguères, a small village close to Montargis in France. From there, we drive to Salles, a place not far away from Bordeaux. Then we drive to the coastal city of Gijón, Asturias, and stay there for a week with the grandparents. Among other things, we will revisit places from my childhood and try not to cry. After Gijón, our next stop is Leiria, where we stay for 8 days. Lisbon, Leiria, and Fatima would be possible destinations here. Then we depart for the charming city of Toledo. From Toledo we go to another historical city, namely Zaragoza, where we'll be greeted by my aunt and her family. Up next we are off to Dieupentale, close to Toulouse. Here we'll try to live like French locals for a week. Voila! From Dieupentale we drive to Dijon, where, you guessed it, we'll get some mustard and eat it in front of the cathedral. Finally, we drive back home to our communist apartment, where not even the doorbell works, and we can calmly fall into depression, wishing to go back in time while watching our videos. Yeah, that sounds like a plan. The trip is expected to start soon, so if you don't want to miss it and you don't know Python, it's as easy as subscribing and hitting the notification bell. And no, I won't say when it starts. It's super secret and I don't want to spoil it. So on that note, lads and lasses, I'll leave you for now. Thanks for watching and see you in France. No, I won't say when we are going. Stop. Just go subscribe. I won't tell you. Come on. Like, don't you have better things to do, like your homework or feeding the cat? Okay, I'll say it. We are going on the